well, the mall didn't really work so well. That didn't work out with the Easter Bunny and stuff. We were asked to leave, essentially, is what happened. You can't just, it turns out there's a process for that. They have to pick you and to be the Easter Bunny, and not just anyone could walk in, is what I'm trying to get at. Steve Weiner here from GetRubix.com, and today we're going to show another recipe from the Microsoft Intune Cookbook. It's going to be about custom requirements for application installs and really cool use around that. So hope you enjoy it. No, I mean, we'll go back. We just have to apply and go through the proper channels. So, you know. Whoa. Stop. I forgot. We got, we have over 1,000 memberships, whatever, where they sign up. We have 1,000 sign up, so we redid this. So let's use the new one.
Get Rubix, solving for the modern workplace.
Okay, so today's recipe comes from chapter 12 of the Microsoft Intune Cookbook. Available now, available below. The chapter is PowerShell scripting across Intune. Today we're going to talk about using custom requirement scripts for apps. So let's take a look at what you would traditionally have with an application. So if a user goes to install something from the company portal, say Notepad++, because it's been made available to them and it's a specific version, what happens when I want to update that, right? I'm not going to necessarily, be able to tell them to come back in here and just hit update. So that's where we can use the custom requirements as a very clever way to push an update to folks who already have it. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead in my cookbook recipes and I'm going to make a new file called Notepad++ requirement. Okay, so we got that open. So basically what I want to do is I want to use the requirements as a way to say, hey, I'm going to push an update to a newer version. And I believe what I did is for Notepad++, I believe we are on version 8.6.5, right? Versus what we have on the machine, which is 8.3.3. So what we're going to do is we're going to deploy this to all devices, but the requirement will be if it finds Notepad. Okay, so how we're going to do this is we're basically going to make sure we can verify the file. So in this case, I am going to look at one of my test devices, and you can see that's the path. I'm going to basically see if this exists, and if it exists, I'm going to tell Intune that it meets the requirement. So let's say Notepad path equals C program files Notepad++, Notepad++.exe, and then I can say if test path is the Notepad path, we're going to write the output Notepad++ detected. Okay, else we are going to say Notepad++ not detected. I am going to take a quick detour and show you another way you can do this if you were looking to get more specific, checking if the version was lower than the version you're trying to push. So one thing you can do, and I'm going to just make some comments out for a second. Okay, so I'm going to come down here. So if you wanted to, you can say file version is equal to get item path, and it's going to be Notepad path, and we're going to say version info file version. Now I'm going to run this. It should return, let's clear the screen here. Yeah, so that returns the current version. So even on my lab machine, it's under. So then what I can do is I can compare that to what I want to push. So I can say if file version is less than 8.6.5, write output update required, else, because maybe it's already there, I could say write output update not required. So just to show you another way we can use that same thing to do it, but in my case, I'm going to actually go back and use the version that I had before, because I really just want to check if the app is there. So I went ahead and packaged this update already, and let's take a look at the requirements here. So I'll actually redo this. So what I want to do is I want to take my script under the custom additional requirements, and I'm going to hit script. So I'm going to give it a name, Notepad++ requirements rule. And I'm going to select, where is it here? I did a few of them. My cookbook recipes. There it is. So what I want to do is I want to say, I want the string to equal. And what did we say in here? We said we want it to run if Notepad++ is detected. So you can literally copy and paste that right in. And that's how we want it to run. And then from there, we can assign it to all devices, which I have. So then if we take a device that has Notepad++ installed, right, we could just wait for this to sync, and it should get the update as opposed to everybody getting the update. Now, another thing you can do is this could be automated through the graph, right? And I just kind of want to walk you through the steps in doing that. So if you were to go to the Graph Explorer, or you could do this through PowerShell, but the endpoint we're looking at is graphmicrosoft.com beta device app management. And I can say mobile apps. And then what I want is I want the app ID. And for any app ID, I'll actually pick a different app here. Let's look at Adobe, for example. So I'm just going to grab this ID right in the URL. I'm going to paste that in there. And let's take a look at the app information. Just like anything else in the graph, it's JSON values that get returned. That's encoding of the file. But if you look at requirements rules, it's empty, right? So what we could do is we can literally post our own rules in there. So if that is something we'd want to do, we can literally take our script and we can base64 encode it. So let's start there. Script equals. That says text of our script. And now all we have to do is we have to say the base64 script is equal to convert to base64 string system text encoding. Okay, and that's going to be Unicode get bytes, and we're going to pass in the script text. And there we go. So now if I run this and I want to call that out, that's what I have. So I can literally take that, and then what I can do is I can start assembling the JSON. So let's take a look at the one we already have up here. I'm going to do Notepad++. So if we grab that app ID and we go try to look for it here, we'll say device app management. It should be a mobile apps. And we put the ID in. You can see the way the JSON response is. So I'm going to type in requirement rules, and you kind of got it here. So you can see this is what it looks like. So, you know, we could in theory take that same JSON, and whether it's PowerShell or the graph, we can embed this as part of an app if we want to push the whole app through the graph, or if we just want to make a patch call after the fact to adjust the requirement rules. And that's something we can do. All right, so let's go back and see how we did. Well, some mixed results here. The good news is of the devices that checked in, the requirements is working. So you can see it's, even though it's going to all devices, as my stuff checks in, it's saying the PowerShell script requirement rule is not met. So if we were to go look at this device, and I should be able to see it from here, we can probably see that it does not have Notepad++ installed. So if I were to go to Managed Apps and search for Notepad, you can see it's available but not installed. And this didn't catch up yet, but it's going to throw a not applicable. So that's exactly what we want. And going back to the app that did have the problem, I could have made a mistake in the silent installer. Whatever it is, we want to make sure it was supposed to get it. So let's take a look at this one. And if I go to Manage Apps here, so yeah, it did fail, but it tried. But should it have tried? And yes, look at Notepad++. It was an installed available app. So there we go. It did exactly what we want. We'll fix it later to make sure it installs correctly. I think the important thing here, though, is we're targeting the parts we want to target, right? Sure, you could have a custom requirements rule if you're looking for something specific, but I just thought this was a really clever way of using requirements to do something as cool as automatically updating apps installed through the company portal by the end user. So, you know, that's going to be today's recipe. If you have any questions, shout out in the Discord. If you don't have the book, buy the book. It's a great book. And, you know, we'll be seeing you.